Do you ever feel a weariness that sleep cannot touch? A profound, bone-deep exhaustion that settles deep within the marrow of your soul? A feeling not of a body that has worked too hard, but of a spirit that has carried too much for far too long. It is not the simple fatigue of a long day, but a persistent, hollowing ache, an inner emptiness that even the most vibrant moments of life, the heartfelt laughter of friends, the exquisite taste of a perfect meal, the temporary oblivion of the deepest slumber can only momentarily disguise. It is a ghost that haunts the edges of your joy, a shadow that lengthens as the distractions of the world fall away. When you are alone, in the sacred, quiet stillness of the night, when the digital noise of 1,000 voices finally ceases, and the endless to-do list is put to rest, does it return? This hollow echo, this persistent, gnawing feeling that something is profoundly, unalterably missing. If this divine message is reaching you now, in this very moment, know with absolute certainty that it is no accident. Your soul, in its infinite wisdom, has guided you here. This is not a random encounter, it is a divine appointment. You are not alone in this invisible struggle, this silent battle you have been fighting. On the contrary, this feeling is a sacred signal. This is a sign of your awakening. For so many of us, countless souls across this planet walk this very same path, feeling this immense spiritual drain without knowing its name, believing we are isolated in our quiet desperation. If these words resonate with the deepest, most authentic part of you, if they vibrate with a truth your spirit recognizes, then let your soul be heard. Affirm your journey, your presence, your awakening in the comments below with a simple "I resonate" or the sacred number 111, and feel the powerful connection to the many other souls who are waking up alongside you. Like this video and subscribe to become part of a growing community of truth seekers, a tribe of spirits who are no longer content with the shimmering surface of things, but are ready, finally, to dive into the profound, life-altering depths of truth. The great and unflinching philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, a man who dared to look into the abyss of the human condition and report back what he saw, once uttered a truth so stark, so piercingly accurate, that it has echoed through the corridors of time. Life swings like a pendulum backward and forward between pain and boredom. This is not merely a clever observation from a distant academic. It is a divine key, a sacred map that unlocks the very mystery of your profound exhaustion. Listen closely, for this is the truth that will begin to set you free. What you are experiencing, this deep spiritual fatigue, is not a personal failure. It is not a sign of weakness. It is not a whim to be dismissed. It is not drama to be ashamed of, and it is most certainly not laziness, as a society built on perpetual motion would have you believe. You must forget these empty labels, these diagnoses from a sleeping world that medicates discomfort and fears stillness. The fatigue you feel is the immense, crushing weight of your divine soul navigating a physical reality that constantly demands everything from you: your time, your energy, your attention, your very life force, and, in return, offers a parade of fleeting illusions, shimmering mirages that promise fulfillment but never truly nourish the soul's deep yearning. You feel tired because you are a spiritual being caught in a relentless cosmic tide, a powerful, impersonal current that pulls and pushes all of existence. It is a force that Schopenhauer identified with a single, world-altering word: the will. You must understand this divine truth, for it is the foundation of your liberation. The universe, in its rawest, most fundamental form, is not a thinking, caring, benevolent entity. It is not a conscious being with a plan for your happiness. At its core, it is a blind, irrational, and ceaselessly striving force. It is a cosmic hunger that can never be satiated, a universal energy that constantly pushes forward without direction or ultimate purpose. This is the will. It is not something separate from you. It is the very energy that animates you and all of life. It pulses in every atom of creation. It drives the planets in their silent, majestic orbits. It pushes the determined roots of the most ancient trees deep into the unyielding earth. And it beats within your own heart, a relentless drum demanding more. This universal will has no grand purpose, no final destination, no inherent concept of peace or contentment. It only knows one thing: to desire, to want, to strive. And you, in your very essence, are a temporary, individualized manifestation of this primal, universal will. This is why the conventional pursuit of happiness, as it is sold to us by the world, is and always will be a journey doomed to frustration and eventual exhaustion. We are told we are rational beings who have desires. The profound truth is that we are desire itself, a fragment of this cosmic will that has, by a miracle of existence, been gifted with the spark of consciousness and reason, a spark that allows us to witness our own unending, painful cycle. This realization changes everything. Suddenly, the endless, repetitive cycle of your life begins to make a chilling, yet clarifying, kind of sense. The constant feeling of being on a hamster wheel, the sense that your goals, once achieved, lose their luster almost immediately. This is not your fault. It is the inherent nature of the game itself. There is no ultimate why or for what in this ceaseless striving, because the will itself has no ultimate goal. It does not want something specific and then rest. Its very nature is simply to want. The wanting itself is its natural state. Pause for a moment, right now, and truly reflect on your life. Think of a time you wanted something with all your being: a promotion, a romantic partner, a particular achievement, a physical possession. When you did not have it, you were in a state of pain, of suffering. This is the first swing of the pendulum. This suffering is not just a mild inconvenience. It is a profound ache, a void that creates a painful tension, a deep yearning that consumes your thoughts and your precious energy. You pour your life force into the chase. You fight for it, you strive, you plan, you sacrifice sleep, peace, and sometimes even your own values to attain it. And then, when you finally achieve it, what happens? The pendulum swings to the other side. There is a fleeting moment of pleasure, a brief, shimmering satisfaction. You feel a sense of relief, a temporary high. But how long does it last? Be honest with yourself. In a shockingly short time, what once seemed so essential, so critical to your happiness, becomes trivial. It becomes the new normal. The new car, which you dreamed of for months, just becomes the vehicle that gets you to work, its intoxicating new car smell long gone. The dream vacation, the one you saved for and planned meticulously, becomes a collection of fading memories and photographs. The perfect relationship, the one you believed would complete you, settles into the predictable and sometimes challenging rhythm of daily routine. The pain of lacking is gone, but what rushes in to fill its place? Not lasting joy, not enduring peace, but boredom, an unbearable emptiness, a profound sense of, is this all there is? This is the second, and perhaps more insidious, swing of the pendulum. The silence returns, and it feels louder, more hollow than before. And from this desolate void of boredom, a new desire is inevitably born. A new goal arises, a new need, a new "if only I had." And with that new desire comes a fresh dose of pain from its absence. And so the cycle begins again. Pain, a fleeting moment of pleasure, and then the gnawing, soul-crushing emptiness of boredom, which in turn gives birth to new pain. This is the cruel, invisible war being waged within your soul every single day. This is the true root of your spiritual exhaustion. You are not just trying to live, you are being consumed by a desire that has no end. And the more you frantically attempt to fill this inner void with external things, with more stimulation, more pleasure, more achievements, more status, more endless digital connections, the deeper and wider the void becomes. You are not living wrong. The profound tragedy, according to Schopenhauer, is that you are living correctly according to a system that is fundamentally, structurally flawed. You have been playing a game that is designed to be unwinnable. Now, you may be wondering, if this relentless cycle of pain and boredom is the very fabric of existence, what is left for us? Are we simply to accept this despair? Is the only option to give up and surrender to this bleak, meaningless cycle? Here, right at the precipice of nihilism, is where Schopenhauer offers us his most challenging, yet most profoundly liberating guidance. He does not propose blind resignation or a cynical acceptance of suffering. Instead, he proposes a silent, inner revolution. It is a gesture of immense philosophical courage that goes directly against the grain of everything our modern world has taught us: the conscious, deliberate, and powerful denial of the will. The world screams at you from every screen, every advertisement, every societal pressure. You need to want more. You must achieve more. You are not enough as you are. Schopenhauer, from the depths of his wisdom, responds with a quiet, revolutionary whisper: no, you need to want less. This denial of the will is not about becoming a lifeless automaton or falling into a state of apathetic depression. It is the very opposite. It means courageously interrupting this vicious, energy-draining cycle of suffering at its very root. It means stopping the endless outward chase, and for the first time in your life, identifying that incessant, hungry desire that drags you through your days like a famished, haunted animal. It means consciously ceasing to seek external satisfaction, more money, more validation, more experiences, as a solution to an emptiness that is, and always has been, internal and structural. For Schopenhauer, true, authentic liberation lies in methodically, mindfully reducing this wanting to a bare minimum until it finally, blessedly, disappears. But how, you might ask, is this even possible in a reality that is so meticulously and ingeniously shaped to constantly inflame our desires at every turn? He offers us three sacred paths, three ancient gateways to peace. They are all demanding, they all require courage, but they are all profoundly transformative. The first path is that of aesthetic contemplation. Think of the last time you were truly, completely lost in a piece of music, a melody so beautiful that it seemed to lift you out of the relentless stream of time itself. Or a moment when you stood before a work of art, a painting so profound that it spoke to you in a language beyond words. Or a time when you observed a sunset so magnificent, so breathtaking in its grandeur, that it silenced all the restless, anxious chatter in your mind. Or perhaps you have lost yourself completely in a poem, a story, or a film that dissolved the very boundaries of your ego, making you feel connected to something universal and eternal. In these precious, sacred moments, you are not desiring. You are not seeking to possess the sunset, to own the music, or to commodify the art. You are simply surrendering to the pure experience of beauty, to nature, to art, without expectation, without the burning urge to possess it. In that sacred pause, in that moment of will-less observation, you can temporarily suspend the tyranny of the will. Art, in its purest and highest form, becomes an escape route from the prison of constant wanting. It allows you to perceive the universal, the timeless, platonic idea or essence of things, rather than just their individual, fleeting forms that you feel so compelled to acquire. It is a moment of pure will-less perception, a rare and precious glimpse of the profound peace that lies beyond the pendulum's relentless swing. The second path is that of inner silence, the dedicated practice of profound introspection and compassion. This is not an escape from the world. It is a direct and courageous confrontation with the forces that drive you from within. It is the moment when you finally, bravely, turn your gaze inward. It is when you sit in stillness and begin to recognize the powerful, unconscious impulses that have been dominating your life. Through practices like meditation, mindfulness, or quiet contemplation, you see the desires for what they truly are: not essential, parts of your true self, but impersonal, cosmic forces passing through you. Like clouds passing through the vast open sky, you are the sky, not the clouds. And in that moment of clear-seeing awareness, in that space of profound self-knowledge, you can consciously refuse to obey them. You begin to realize, with a dawning, exhilarating sense of freedom, that you can exist without being in a constant, desperate state of seeking. You discover a peace that does not depend on any external achievement, but on the simple, powerful cessation of the will to achieve. This retreat into your inner sanctuary is not about rejecting the world, but but about finding a center of unshakable stillness within it, a sacred space from which the world's endless agitations and demands can no longer command you or drain your spirit. The third path is the most radical, the most demanding, but also the most complete and lasting. It is the path of asceticism, the way of the saint and the mystic. Now, this is not about self-flagellation, guilt, or a life-denying rejection of the world's simple joys. For Schopenhauer, this form of asceticism is the conscious, empowered discipline of actively and compassionately denying the worldly pleasures and attachments that relentlessly feed the will. It is about fundamentally breaking with the powerful illusion of the individual self, the ego, as the center of all experience. It is the path we see embodied in the lives of saints, mystics, and wise individuals from countless spiritual traditions throughout history, those who renounced not out of weakness or fear, but out of a profound experiential wisdom. They understood through direct experience that true, lasting relief does not lie in frantically filling the void, but in courageously transcending it altogether. This does not mean you must become a hermit or reject every human experience. In a modern context, it means consciously choosing where to place your vital divine energy. It means stopping the futile, exhausting fight against reality and instead starting to flow with it with lucidity, with awareness, with a newfound serenity. You do not need to want everything. You do not need to conquer the world. You just need to stop letting the world and its endless desires consume you. This is the great, revolutionary turning point that Schopenhauer proposes, not to resist the world, but to empty your attachment to it. It is a hard, challenging path, yes, but it is also the only one that offers, according to him, a true and lasting possibility of unshakable peace. Perhaps you are spiritually drained, not because you have failed, but because you have followed exactly what the world told you to do with unwavering dedication. You have chased every goal, pursued every desire, and climbed every ladder, only to find another ladder waiting at the top. And now, you are realizing that this was never enough. But this realization is not the end. It is the sacred beginning. It is the start of a new way of being in the world, a way that is lighter, more aware, more awake, more truly alive. I want to know from you, what in this message touched you most deeply? What part made you stop in your tracks and truly think? Share your reflections, your stories, your moments of recognition in the comments below. I read every single one and will respond whenever I can, for we are on this journey together. And if you know someone in your life who is exhausted, who is lost carrying this same invisible fatigue, send them this video. It could be the very spark of truth they need to begin freeing themselves. And do not forget, this journey of awakening continues. The next video is an important and necessary step on this path you have just started. Watch it, reflect upon it. And most importantly, keep seeking, but this time, with your eyes turned inward, toward the only place where true unconditional peace can ever be found.